Right, let's see if this stream started up. Right, hello when people come on, if hopefully people come on. It says 4 watching on the PlayStation 5 screen, so hopefully that means... Alright, Hype. Alright, Rich. So yeah, I thought I'd play a bit more of this. I've just got back from dog walking, so I thought I'd play some of this, because I've got past all the boring sort of intro stuff now, where it doesn't let you do stuff. So what I didn't realise is last time that weird bloke in the cafe told me to do a mission, right? It was actually not the ones I was trying to do, it was this thing down here. So, it was actually much easier than the one I was trying to do. I'll do this just to show you what it's like. So, I'll do this one in my Sirocco, because I know Dan likes the Sirocco if he comes on. Because I've got that really upgraded now. But just to show you how, like, easy this race is if you've got an upgraded car. Because, again, this is one of the ones that doesn't actually have, like, an entry requirement. As in, you don't have to lower your car's, like, performance down to a certain level. Alright, Rajiv? So, yeah, this is quite easy. So, this is the one I should have been doing rather than that other race that I've still not done yet. Now you can have the different camera angles, but this one is probably the best one for giving you the most information at once, as in you get the rear mirror, you get all the speedometers, you get the little map at the bottom. So we're already first with just this tiny bit of the map done, or the let you know the track done. Yeah, it's because, like I said, it has this weird thing where in some of the races, it doesn't actually limit you on, like, what cars you can use. So you can basically completely overlevel the races by getting a car that's far better than, like, what all your competitors are using. I'll show you how much more difficult it is in a minute if I try and enter a race where, you know, it has the performance points thing. So your car has to be roughly equal to all the other cars. At the moment, I'm not sure how much of understeer or oversteer I get, because with the difficulty, if you have it on lower difficulties, it gives you slight assistant steering, so it's quite hard to spin the car out. Yeah, I'll show one of those other things in a minute. So that's just lap 1 about to be done, and I'm like half, not quite half the track away, but massively massively ahead of the other cars. Slow down for this. I've got the custom gearbox in this car as well now, so it's a lot more good to control. And cheers, Tanner. I don't actually have the M50 anymore. I sold it or traded it a while ago. Traded it for a night vision set. But yeah, the M50 is cool, but again, it's one of those masks like the M50 and the GSR. I still think 40mm is the way to go. Yeah, the sound effects in this are really good. With racing games in general, they can have good graphics and sound, because I guess there's not loads to detail other than the tracks. Which means they can spend a lot more time on just optimising visuals, because I've always found racing games tend to look a lot better than like most other games released in the same year, especially on consoles. Again, that's probably because, as I said, all they need to really do is map out the track, like what you can see from the track, optimise that, and then you can put loads of effort into like all the other visuals. Yeah, exactly. All they're loading is what you can see from the track, because there's obviously not going to be anything beyond the track. So yeah, it's much smaller maps on like a modern PC than the regular game. Right, so we go 38 seconds in front of the other one. Now there's part 2 to this race. But like I was saying, this is the one I was meant to be doing last time and I didn't. Because I was dumb and I didn't notice that this was the one that the game was telling me to do. I thought it wanted me to do those other races. But With some of the games as well, games that age well are often ones that have a good art style, not necessarily like realistic graphics. Loads. I'll show you the thing in a minute, Hype, that shows you every car in the game. Because there's a lot, but obviously I've not unlocked loads of them, so I think there's a thing that shows you every car, even if you don't have them, so I'll try and get that menu up in a minute when I finish this race. There we go. Yeah, I still think Oddworld's Abe's Odyssey and Oddworld's Abe's Exodus look absolutely amazing because they're really good art style. I mean, I kind of like unlocking cars in it to keep the game going a bit longer, but yeah. So there's a lot of racing games I like. The one I've got on Steam that's quite good because it's VR compatible. Which one is it? I'm trying to think of the name of it now. But that's quite good. I know that's not going to help much, but it was a VR racing thing on Steam that has a lot of cars in. So that's good, because I've used it with the Rift before, because you can still play it with like a 360 controller or whatever. But you can actually, you know, use the VR so you can get like the cockpit type view with head tracking, looking around, you know, like the driver's seat sort of cockpit of your car, whatever you want to call it. And then you can still have the controller for steering rather than using motion controllers, which I like. As I said, I don't actually have motion controls in my Oculus, which I really ought to get because I've had it for ages. But the problem is I don't have enough room in this room to do any of the games, so you have to stand up and walk about because the computer's wedged in on like a table between that and the bed frame behind me, which is used for storage. Yeah, which one is it I have on PC? I'm trying to think, because I said I like that one, but I can't think of what it's called now. And that's one with lots of real-life race tracks as well, you know, and like rally cars and like proper racing cars. I can't bloody think what it's called now. I bought it when it was on sale where it had loads of cars included, but again, the problem with that game is I think a lot of the cars like DLC packs, so if you get on the sale with all the DLC packs in it, it's really good value. If you're paying for the base game and then having to pay like £5 for an additional car or two, it's a bit of a rip-off. Oh, there we go again. See that how much easier that was in that other race. I'll load the other race up in a minute, and I'll show you those cars for the people who want to see the car screen in this. Like an load in additional money. Right, so if I go to the garage, you can see the entire car collection in there. So if I go to car collection, if you haven't unlocked them, it doesn't say what they are. But okay, so you get Austria. Let's do by manufacturer. So Abarth, Alfa Romeo, Alpine, AMG, Amuse, Aston Martin, Audi, Auto Biaggi, is that? BAC? I'm assuming that's not British Arms, whatever it is. Like, you know, unless BAE, isn't it? British Arms Enterprises, whatever it is, the one that makes missiles and bombs and tanks. So BAC, BMW, Bugatti, or Bugatti, Chaparral, Chevrolet, Chris Holston Concept, Citroen, Daihatsu, no idea how that's pronounced. De Tomaso, DMC, gonna get a DMCA. Dodge, DS is like Citroen's luxury brand. Funnily enough, DS3 is a Citroen C3, which I've had before, but the older version of it, just that one's massively tuned up. Eckert's Rod and Custom, Ferrari, Fiat, Ford, Genesis, Gran Turismo. Actually, they're exclusive cars of the games, are they? G-Ready, Honda, Hyundai, Infiniti, Jaguar, Jeep. That's an old Willis Jeep for the Jeep. KTM, Lamborghini, Lancia, Lexus, Maserati, Mazda, McLaren, Mercedes-Benz, Mini, Mitsubishi, and the Minis are separate from the BMWs in this, which I like, because obviously BMW owns Mini now, but they are their own range of cars. Mitsubishi, Nissan, Pagani, Peugeot, Plymouth, Pontiac, whatever it's called, Porsche, Radical, Roadster Shop, RE something or other, Renault, RUF, RUF, Shelby, Subaru, Super Formula, which uses just the F1 cars, Suzuki, Tesla, Toyota, TVR, Volkswagen, Wicked Fabrication, Zagato. There are some British cars. Sadly, I don't think this one has the Caterham cars in that were in one of the older ones, because one of my mates used to have a Caterham 7. This video's still up on my channel if you're interested, Hype, where we were riding it. That was a really fun little accelerating car. But obviously you get like Aston Martins and that, and like the old Mini. So let's take the old Mini out for a spin on one of the races. It'll probably get completely shit on, but let's take the old Mini out for a race. Because I've got a slightly done up old Mini Cooper. Let's do it against similar cars at least. Change car. I don't want it on last used, I want it by performance points. So it'll be near the bottom. Mini Cooper S. Let's just check the car settings are set to the best things I can do for it. So I've not bought loads of parts for this one, but there we go. So let's do this one with a slightly, yeah, especially if they put big motorcycle engines in them. Okay, there we go, old Mini. Slightly better than my opponent's cars, just because it's slightly souped up this one, but they're all similar cars. Doing a race in a Mini though makes me want to watch the Italian Job again. I've not seen the proper Italian Job in years. There's a shit remake of the Italian Job, isn't there? I've never watched that. But you're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. I haven't watched that in ages. We're off the track. Like I said, I've got slightly assisted steering on, so it makes it a bit easier. But I do quite like in games like this, where you have like a slider between easy and hard, so you can have it in like proper simulator mode, or you can have it in like baby doesn't know how to drive mode, and then you can set it somewhere in between where it slightly assists you, you know, through very soft kind of auto manoeuvring the car, but if you still put the accelerator down all the time, you're going to crash horribly. So I quite like that, because obviously, for anybody that drives a car in real life versus driving a car in a game, it is much easier driving a car in real life than a game in terms of like steering wheel, you know, like clutch depression, accelerator depression, compared to trying to do it on a controller. I know if you're using a steering wheel in the game it'd be better, but I still had cars that I've driven in GT, some of the Gran Turismos, I've driven in real life, and in Gran Turismo they spin out super easy compared to the real thing. I may have at one point taken my Golf GTI far above 100 miles per hour. I won't say where I did it, because if I did it on a racetrack it would be legal, but if I did it on the road it would be illegal. But that's still controlled well. Yeah, it's a shame the Golf Mark IV isn't in this, because that was in GT5, and I used to have a Golf Mark IV GTI. The Mark 7 GTI is in this, but it's not the same. I like them when they're a bit more boxy. The Mark 1's in this, so I might get a Mark 1 when it next turns up in like the used car seller and do it up, just because I really like old Golfs. Well, they sound really cool. I think that's the main thing I don't like about electrics, is the really quiet engines. Because it's actually not as safe if you're walking around and somebody's driving an electric car, because you can't hear it coming. But it's just noise some of the old petrol and diesel engines make is amazing. Like, obviously, the Rolls-Royce Merlin, as much as that's a plain engine, God, that is the sexy noise that's in a Spitfire. Oh yeah, that's the thing. Electric, I think electric, when it becomes more and more mainstream, is far, far better than combustion engines in terms of, you know, you don't need to shift gears. Electric engines are just more efficient. I actually like electric for what it is. There's just something I really like about combustion engines. There you go. So, like I said, I didn't win that race massively fast than the others, because obviously, like I said, I was using a car equal to theirs. Shall I do that again with a much better car, just for shits and giggles? Right, let's do that and change my car, just for a laugh. I've got a Golf 7 actually in this, so, yeah, I used to be able to feel the G's in my Golf Mark 4 actually. You had to be good at gear shifting, but yeah, you could get that from 0 to 60. Was it like 7 seconds in a Mark 4, I think? But yeah, you had to be good at gear shifting to do that. But once you drive a car enough, you know exactly when to shift gears. There was, I'm sure there was an automatic version of it, but in the UK, manuals are much more popular. I personally don't like automatics. Like, I wouldn't mind it in an electric car, but on a combustion engine, I don't like it, because often they change when it's not really the best time to change, sort of thing. Right, let's do it in the Mark 7 GTI anyway. So, you know, like a better version of the car I used to have, as much as I like the old ones. Brum, brum. Alright, Mike. I'm just on to have a chat with people, really. You doing alright? Yeah, I've gone massively off the track there. Oh well. Oh, I hit that other car. Yeah, I'm alright. I had a really bad headache for most of yesterday, which was annoying. I was at work and I didn't like have a day off sick, so I just worked with a headache all day. But you know, when you get a headache, it's not like an awful headache, but you know when you get a headache, like you take paracetamol, aspirin or whatever, and it just doesn't seem to shift it. And I hadn't been like drinking heavily the day before, so it was just one of those headaches. I had no idea why I had it, but it was just annoying. But I feel a lot better today, at least. But I had a really early night last night anyway, just because of how long I've been working at work recently. I think some of it might have been the heat, to be honest, causing it. Just because at work, some of the rooms have aircon, some don't, and if you're in the kitchen that doesn't have aircon, you're like working in 40 to 50 Celsius. So I think it's probably that. No matter how much water and Lucasade I drank, I still felt quite dehydrated. I wonder if you can change your first-person hands in this to like a different skin. Might be able to. Again, massively going over that corner, but oh well. Look how far ahead I am compared to doing this in the Mini Cooper, just because of how much better this car is in terms of, you know, performance power. That's completely off the track, isn't it? That's actually really good, yeah. When I got my Mark IV Golf, I can't remember what the RRP was for those, but second hand it was like £2,000. But yeah, that's really nice. But like I said, with the Golfs, I got one when, you know, it was kind of the car nobody wanted anymore. So for the first few years of running it, it was cheap. And then obviously when more and more of the parts went, it became too expensive when I sold it. Just for, you know, like having to have major engine parts replaced and everything. But yeah, the funny thing is, I'd say, unless you're an idiot, having a car that has good acceleration is safer, just because it's so much easier to overtake with them without, like, causing a problem. Especially on, like, single-lane roads. But yeah, right, so let's do that. What's the Red Bull track? I don't remember that one. Oh, it's this one, yeah. What cars can I compete with in this? Do it by performance points and just have a quick look at this one. Should I just do my Sirocco again? I could do the Clio, because that's basically my car if it had a really pimped up engine. Because the Sanderos and the Clios are essentially the exactly same car. There you go, look, it looks like a Dacia from the outside. As much as the SI Nodes has a better engine than my Dacia and probably more comfortable seats, I don't care. This is the closest I can get to driving a Dacia in this, because there's no actual Dacias in the game. Even though they're essentially just Renaults anyway. But that's really nice. So how does the braking work? Is it just like the engine actually does the braking rather than the brake pads? Because of how it works. If the Dacia Sandero I had was in the game, I'd do the James May Chernobyl challenge with it, you know, trying to run out of petrol in Chernobyl and you can't manage it with a Dacia Sandero because it's too fuel efficient. No one. I'm saying this is essentially the same car body kit wise, obviously this one being like a rally version has a much better engine than my one. Although my car's still got a really efficient engine in terms of fuel to like horsepower. It's just you know, not that fast. It's very good at low gears, not so much at high gears. So like first, second and third it is very good at pulling away. Fourth and fifth gear is a bit meh. Oh yeah, that's good, yeah, because that's a good thing of electrics, isn't it? There's things that they can do to recharge the battery while you're actually driving it, like braking. Like I said, electrics are definitely the future. And considering current fuel prices, I definitely think my next car will be an electric. It's just, I'm hoping by the time I want to get an electric, there's something fairly decent, you know, for the price. Because over here, sadly, electrics still tend to be at quite a premium compared to combustion engines. Ideally, what I want really in an electric is a 4x4 electric with fairly good ground clearance. Like, not an SUV, but something like Lada Niva just as an electric, so I can have it and take it into fields and not have an issue with it. But, you know, just be an electric, because I very rarely do journeys where I'd worry about having an electric car now, as in, you know, that are like 300 miles in one go. I do them like maybe once or twice a year, so for the most part for commuting, an electric would be actually better for me than a combustion engine. Run out my way. Oh, he's close, he's close. I win. Yeah, that's the reason I just want one is there's quite a lot of places in the UK where you'll go to a car park and they've done it in a field without tarmacking it. And if it's wet weather, you can easily get a two-wheel drive stuck in those, whereas, you know, a four-wheel drive would have no issue. The amount of times I've, parked, I was only like a tenth of a second behind me. But again, that's because this car wasn't done up to the extent of some of the others. Oh, I've got a roulette ticket. Look, I'm going to bet you, I'll bet somebody £1, and I'm not going to pay them, but you know, that when I claim this ticket, I'll get the worst prize possible, because every single time I've claimed a ticket in this, it always gives me the worst prize possible, like it's rigged. Like a fucking loot box. So here we go, garage. I bet you I'm going to get the cheapest prize out of this ticket, because every single one I've done so far has always given me the worst prize. Ready? Right, I bet you I'm going to get the smallest amount of money. Yeah, look, I was right. What a surprise. That's still probably an alright amount, is it? But I've never got anything other than the lowest prize on any of these so far. It's almost like the game is rigged. The house always wins. The thing I really don't like in that Clio, looking at it now, is that fucking speedometer in it. Because that's the difference between a Sandero and a Clio, is my Sandero is basically that system, but the speedometer is actually a proper speedometer dial, and then the trip computer is just a little thing in the side. But, you know, like I said, a Dacia is basically if you want to buy a Renault without inflated costs on it, because they're made in the same factories using nearly all the same parts. It's just Renault's a Slav brand rather than buying the French brand. The EU was on about doing that hype. I mean, the weird thing is, because we've left the EU in Britain, there's a lot of EU regulations we're not a part of anymore, but some we are. And I don't know how they work out which ones we are a part of and which you aren't. I don't know if you can buy them in the game, but you get rewarded them. You can buy real-world money, look. So if we go credits, I'm not going to do it. But I can, see, look, top up on PlayStation Store. So what I can do, if it shows you this, is for £2 I can buy 100 grand, for £4 I can buy 250. You know, it's basically like you can pay to unlock stuff faster, which I'm not bothered with. I actually quite like grinding races in this. Yeah, the only gambling allowed in Japan is pachinko machines, or whatever they call them. You know, where you put your, like, pinball ball bearings in a thing and exchange it for prizes. And then what was that fucking company, the one that did Silent Hill and Metal Gear, where they basically said, Konami, wasn't it? Well, they said, like, oh yeah, you're not making video games anymore because it's more profitable just to make fucking pachinko machines. Oh dear. Let's see what cars are for sale. I've got nearly 200 grand. Just seeing if there's anything interesting. What's America? Is there a Ford Focus in this? Oh, there is. Cool. Quite like the Focus. So that's only 40 odd grand for those. So Focus Sport 15, Focus Rally 18. The Rally 18 might be actually quite good. It's four-wheel drive as well, like it should be for a rally car. Europe. What Jags can I get? What Jags can I get? I could afford that Jag if I wanted to. F-Type R14. 542 brake horsepower, that's pretty good stock. Is there any Aston Martins I can afford? Could afford that Aston Martin. V8 Vantage. Can't afford the DB11. My dad used to have a Jag. I like driving in my car. It's not quite a Jag. That's a fucking ugly looking thing. Ooh, Vulcan. I like the name Vulcan because it reminds me of my favourite bomber. Not because of the Vantage I like, but I'm not spending 180 grand on it. Yeah, I mean, most arcade games do that. Have you ever played the old House of the Deads? I like them, but the PC version is far superior. Because you can give yourself 9 lives to begin with. You don't have to put £9 in or whatever to get the 9 lives. Right, let me have a look at the second-hand car shop, because I want to see, because this, like, randomly changes each day what's in here. Ooh, now that kind of interests me. I was saying 233 brake calls now. Is there any Golfs turned back up? Because annoyingly, when I had the money to buy a Golf, there weren't any in here anymore for the old Golfs. No, that's typical, isn't it? When you've got the money, you can't find a car you want. Yeah, I think it's MG, isn't it, one of the companies at the moment that like was bought out by a Chinese brand, so it still technically exists now when it hadn't for years. The MGs aren't too much more expensive than the Dacias, so I was actually looking at them when I got a new car, because they do seem quite nice for the money. I mean, assuming all the parts are well made, I wouldn't really have a problem with what country makes a car. Yeah, that's exactly the same sort of thing I was saying, Hype. It was like, now that China owns MG, they're actually making MG cars again. Whereas whoever owned the license previously, I don't know if that was Ford or whatever, you know, they just did fuck all with it. So it's nice that there's at least MG cars, even if they're not really British anymore. But they look alright, you know, and they're nothing special, but for the money, I think they seem fairly good. Have I done this race before? Don't think I have. Suggested PP 550. That's suggested, it's not forced. Right, let's do up my M3 a bit more then. Right, do I have any parts upgraded in this, or is it stock? Yeah, I've got that. Right, I've got most of the first bits, but not these, okay. Right, I'm just going to put a load of upgrades into this. Then we'll take this for a spin, seeing as I'm not restricted on points of this one. It's quite expensive, but let's do it. Can't put a supercharger in racing, why not? I have got the fully upgraded racing transmission, good. Right. Oh, that sounds good. Right. Let's test this then on this racing, as I'm not point restricted with this one. So it's the Croatian one. Yeah, it's so good I can enter this car and I'm 50 odd points higher than the recommended level, which means I have a slight advantage. I haven't done this track before, so let's see. Oh, there goes my clean race bonus. I've got the House of the Dead remake on PC, but that wouldn't be a very good game to stream, just because you'd have to be paying attention so much, you wouldn't be able to read any comments. But it is quite good, the House of the Dead remake, in terms of like visuals, you know, that they've made the entire game ground up on a new game engine. Although House of the Dead 2, I'd say, is a lot better than House of the Dead 1's. House of the Dead 1 even. Yeah, I love the engine noises. I don't know how many of these in the game are real recorded ones, and how many are like, you know, the same sound effects reused over several cars, but I do like the noises. Out my way. Oh, so they're all rear-wheel drives, aren't they, in this race? Yes, he's got that more classic BMW. Let's see in third person how much the rear end swings out when I try and take a corner. I suppose that's too slow, that corner, to do a good spin out on. Yeah, it doesn't steer particularly well around corners. Nope. Yeah, that corner it really suffers on. I need to brake quite hard for that one. I'll have a look at your comment in a minute, Hype, when I'm not trying to not crash the car. I'll have a look at that a bit later, because I probably can't open it on my phone while I'm playing the game. But, was that the one I kept spinning out on before? Yeah, so a little slower on that one, that's alright. Was it this one? Yeah, both of them were pretty similar in terms of spinning out. That was fairly easy, but again, my car was upgraded more than the race required. Now, in a minute, I'm going to need to go to the toilet and that, but then I'll be back. I think with the PlayStation 5 headset, if I pop my microphone up, well, it's not PlayStation 5, but like the Turtle Beach one I've got, I think if I put the microphone up, it mutes the headset, which is quite a cool feature, but I've never actually tested that. So if there's background noises in the background when I go AFK, people can tell me if that works or not. Right, so yeah, I'll go AFK in a minute. I'll put my headset up, go to the toilet. I'm not going to walk into the toilet wearing a headset, but I do need the toilet. But let me know if any background noise cuts out when I get back, because I think this is meant to cut the microphone off when you put it up. I can always manually mute it using the controller, but I'm just sort of interested if it does it automatically. Right, back in a moment. Right, I'm back. Did that cut the audio off when I was gone? It made a little beeping noise on my headset when I put the mic up and down, so I'm hoping that means it's cut the audio off and on. I haven't done this one either. Red Bull Ring. Road car, I can do it in this one. So if I won an M303, because I've got one that's stock and one like this. Anyway, have a good day, Hype, and a good evening. Ah, good, that's good, Rajiv. Alright, Andy? Yeah, so yeah, that's good. This headset does actually, if you put the mic up, cut the audio off. What's Showcase? Oh, is this just to look at all the stuff? Oh, it's what people have made, haven't they, online? Are you alright, Andy? I am, but basically, today, because I'm doing dog sitting and dog walking in most of the weekdays, I'm doing that quite early on because it's hot. So I've already taken the dogs out and walked them back, and the person's in today, so they don't need me sitting with them all day. But some days, yeah, I'm out for much longer. It really depends on the day, but that's fine with me because I can plan around that. Funny thing is, Andy, I was going to say about night vision is that the Russians don't have any night vision at the moment. But yeah, because I think Hype was saying, who's just left the stream, there's a lot more Gen 3 night vision units heading into China at the moment, while Quartermasters can still sell them off, which I thought was quite funny. Nürburgring. What cars can I use on this one? So I want to get a Jag though in this, just because I can use UK cars in some of these races. Right, do I need to get about 200 grand, don't I, to get a Jag? So if I do World Circuits... Right, let me show people actually first that race I can't do yet, that we were trying to do the first time. It was this one, wasn't it? The 4th is the best result I've got so far. So I need my car to be 550 performance points to enter. So if I do this one and I just minimise its performance to get it to 550. Power restrictor. Oh, it's already at minimum. Fucking hell, this car could have been a lot better. Okay, ballast. Right, let's... I've not installed a ballast yet. Oh, can I lower the ECU to get lower PP? Yeah, I can. Right. Air cleaner off. 554. Silencer normal. 548. There we go. This will probably still... I'll probably still lose, but still. But oh yeah, so I have to keep my foot on the pedal, don't I, till the race starts. Oh, false start. Oh well. I'm not expecting to win this, but you get paid quite a bit to do this race at least. So a video I'm probably going to film tomorrow or Wednesday is for the people on that saw the video on that other police truncheon. I found a website that does recreations of the police truncheons really cheaply, so I bought one of them. And it's actually surprisingly close to the real one, so I'm just going to do a video comparing those two. I'll probably get a couple of gas mask videos done now and then, because there's a few where people have said, could I redo a video like I did years ago to a better standard? And I said, yeah, absolutely, because I don't need to buy anything for that, so that's quite straightforward. But yeah, like I was saying with the cost of living video, the issue is at the moment that, you know, obviously, like I said, I'm working quite a lot. And, you know, obviously, everything's stupidly expensive. Like, I'm going to have to fill my petrol up at the end of this week, and that's going to be well over £100 in my petrol, which is going to be a ball ache. Yeah, I've definitely done better than using this BMW. I know I had the false start, but normally I'd have caught up a little bit by now. But they might have done, Andy. It's hard to know, because obviously with sanctions, stuff like that's happening. I know apparently with a load of looted washing machines, they're taking the chips out of them to supply equipment. But yeah, like I said, the funny thing, like I've heard, is just all the stuff that they're in desperate need of that's already being sold off because everybody's trying to get as much money out of the system before it collapses. What I have seen, and again, if money wasn't tight at the moment, I'd have bought one, but, you know, I can't justify buying one because of how expensive everything is at the moment, is the current Russian vehicle dosimeter system, like the one that's basically like a modernised DP3 with a digital loadout. They look really cool, but again, I can't justify spending £400 on a radiation detector, as cool as it looks. But again, they're turning up now, because I guess everybody's selling them while they can. This is quite an easy track in terms of not spinning out or anything. Yeah, at the moment the issue is I can't really afford to buy new stuff to do videos on, just because, like I say, of the cost of living type stuff, where now food's gone up by so much and petrol's gone up by so much. You know, there's a lot of stuff where by the end of a month, you know, my savings I'd normally try and put up are a lot lower than normal, so then to try and, you know, buy surplus just to do videos on is, you know, not really feasible, especially because there's a lot of stuff that I've tried to auction off, or not even auction off, but just to buy it now is on eBay fairly cheap, like less than I paid for them, and people still aren't interested because, like I say, they've not really spare money. Because there's a few helmets I wanted to get rid of to clear up some room, so I was doing them well under their RIP, and still nobody's bought them after like 2 months, so. Right, yeah, that was a shit result, but there we go. I've got 4th before. Which car did I get 4th in? Let me try it again with the car I got 4th in. So you still get a good bit of money for doing that one. Oh, yeah, it is on live chat. I was just make sure it's on live chat. I'm not going to click replay because I think that puts you in the same car you started in. I could either do the Golf or this Clio. They're both basically right at the power level to do it. And the DS3 racing. Let's do the DS3 racing. That mode. Alright, Mike, any interesting films you want to watch? I'll reply to your comment in a minute, Andy and Mike, just a sec. I'm just going to try and get past this bit of the race where everybody's next to each other, then I'll hopefully have a bit of straight road where I can look at my phone. See, this is the exact reason why they tell you not to look at your phone while you're driving, because of how easily it distracts you and you can crash. But yeah, you plan on watching anything interesting, Mike? I watched, what's it called? Like I think I said to you, I watched Fracture, whatever it was called, the other day, because I actually paid for that to rewatch it, because it was annoying me for so long trying to remember what film it was. And yeah, I like that when I rewatched it. Yeah, that's the thing I'm hearing, Andy, from literally anybody that sells anything in Nimi, like any sort of whatever, you know. It's just that people can't afford it, so, you know, you have to sell something at a massive loss to get a sale. Or if you're trying to sell it for like a realistic price, nobody's buying it, and then you see loads of listings where people want a massive amount of money for something because they think somebody will buy it for that, which they can't. Because yeah, the easiest way of me summing it up is I just know, like, in my savings account, some months I could put 500 plus quid into that. The most recent months I'm lucky to put 100 quid in, if that, because, you know, just how much everything costs, really. You know, and then having to sort stuff out for relatives and whatever else. Yeah, if you can find it for free, Mike, I'd say I'd recommend watching Fracture, just because I caught Fractured, whatever it's called. Just because I said, like, that was the one that was annoying me for ages. Trying to remember what the bloody hell it was. Like, it's not a completely amazing film, but I do like the twist in it. And, you know, the acting's alright, even though there's only, like, 5 actors in the entire film. Yeah, I've had a bit of stuff like that, Rajiv, where when the helmets I was selling, somebody asked me, like, oh, I'm interested in this helmet, you know, for well under its market price. Could you tell me, like, the exact dimensions? So I measured all the dimensions from, like, the inadjustable bands, the outer metal shell of the helmet and all that. Then, you know, never got back to me. They didn't even say, oh, sorry, that's not in my size. It was just, oh, great. So I've you know, got it out, taken all the measurements for you to update the listing, and they were still like, nah. Yeah, I'm definitely not coming in the top 4 again. Again, I'll look at the comments when I'm on a straight in a moment. Ooh, shit. Oh, is he going to overtake me now? Bollocks. Yeah, he's overtaken me now. Oh yeah, also the thing I get is I don't do buy it nows on not buy it now, sorry, best offers on eBay. Because that's when you'll sometimes be selling something and somebody offers you like 5% of its actual buy it now price. And then when you counter them with a higher price, they then put like, you know, an extra pound on. It's like, no. If it's a 30 quid item, I'm not gonna sell you it for a fiver. Especially when you come to postage prices on some of this. That's the other problem as well, is like stupid postage prices. Not inside the UK. But I have this where Stug wanted to buy a helmet from me, and I was happy to sell it him, because he's in Ireland and we've sold stuff to each other before and traded stuff. But then, when I got the latest quote up for, like, the thing, Royal Mail wanted, like, 40 quid to deliver a 2-kilo helmet. And, like, that was just completely unacceptable. And, you know, then I reduced the weight of the parcel as much as possible, reduced the dimensions, and they still wanted, like, them 38 quid for it. So I just had to refund him and say, sorry, mate, you know, it's not worth it unless you want to pay me all that extra money for the postage. They're just ripping us off. Yeah, that's generally, Rajiv, why I like selling stuff to people in person a lot, because there's a lot of people I know that will pay you in cash. There's never an issue, you know, they never fuck you about a price. And if you're selling stuff to somebody in person, they can check, you know, the item if it fits them or not, you know, and if it doesn't, they'll say, sorry, I'm not interested, and that's fair with me, but, you know, and then you're not paying any buyers and sellers fees, are you, either? Yeah, Andy, this was literally for a British Mark 6A helmet. Not very big dimensions, probably 1 point something kilos. And the annoying thing, because he's in the Republic of Ireland, to send it to Northern Ireland, it was much cheaper. As soon as it goes over that border, they wanted like 30 more quid to deliver it. So we both agreed that, you know, it was worth just refunding him, and then I sold it to one of my mates in person, but for less money, but, you know, just because he could try it on, and then was like, yeah, I want this helmet. Yeah, it was when I put the Riot visor on, because I had the Mark 6, the regular crap one, with the mountings for Riot visor on. I bought Mark 6A, and it didn't have the mountings, and I also bought the Riot visor. So then I swapped the Riot visor mountings onto the Mark 6A, because you can just take them off with a screwdriver. Put that on the Mark 6A, and then you actually have a Kevlar helmet with a face shield on it, rather than the ballistic nylon one that won't stop, you know, a wet fart. So, yeah, and I think my mate quite likes it, because he just bought it just as, a, you know, like a thing to have in his room, I think, but... You see a lot of them in Ukraine, actually, at the moment, because I think we've got rid of nearly all of our surplus, just given them to the Ukrainians in various forms. Yeah, you know you're at least not going to get fucked over in person, don't you? With somebody then claiming it didn't work or wasn't as described or whatever. What's that? I see, so the... Why is there 2 dots there, is it? Because 1 dot's another track I've not unlocked. Yeah, I don't know what the price for postage was from the States there and import taxes, Rajiv, but the problem I found buying Geiger counters from the States when I bought things like the US CDV 700 series is it's like the actual tax on it's retarded. So you can buy maybe the Geiger counter for $70. The person's willing to ship you it for $20, but then you get like a tax bill afterwards that ends up costing you like $50 to $60. So for a mint condition US CDV 700, that might be worth it, but for a lot of the others, it's not. I still really want to get a perfect condition CDV 700, because both the ones I've had are bad issues. Like, the current one's not too bad, it's just got loose wiring, and I don't want to try and repair it and make it worse. But I would love to get a good condition CDV 700, just because it's like that iconic yellow Geiger counter. But alright, Mike. Anyway, have we not done this one then? Third place or higher? Right. That's because this hasn't got a recommended thing. Let's put this car to its maximum power. Yeah, again, that's the problem, isn't it? It's just how expensive postage and tax is on some stuff. Right, let's see how this race goes. So, big straight coming up. I didn't see what the actual reward was first, other than the fact that you get a car, which is cool, but... off the track because I'm looking at my phone. I'm still so much better than the other cars in this race, it doesn't matter. Can you still hear me, or did that turn my speaker off just then? I can still hear the game, but there was just a little beeping when I knocked my headset, so I don't know what that was. Make your day a happy day. Oh, good. Okay, yeah, I don't know what that was. I just knocked something on the headset and it made a beep beep noise. It might be something you have to hold down to make it do something, I don't know. Because yeah, there's a few different buttons on it, and some of them I don't actually know what they do. Because there's the on-off button, which is pretty straightforward. There's like the volume sliders, and there's a couple of other buttons, and I'm sure the instructions tell you, but you know, it might be like cancel call or something like that if you're in a call via Bluetooth or something. If I hadn't hit a button, Shark, that would be it. But I had this on charge, and I think it has something like a 10+ hour battery on it. So it's definitely not the battery. It's probably just something like I knocked the button and it's making a noise to acknowledge you press the button. But like I said, without looking at the instructions, I can't remember what all the buttons do. But again, if you just tap a button, it does a different thing than holding it down. It might be the one you hold down to reconnect it to a different Bluetooth device or whatever, like, you know, the Bluetooth pairing. Could easily be something like that, I was saying, I just don't know because I've never had to use it. This headset's quite good because you can use it on anything that uses Bluetooth, and it gives you a little USB adapter to use on consoles. So, you know, with a phone you can just connect it directly to a phone. You can also plug it in via a long wire if you want to as well. Like for charging it, it uses USB-C, but you can also use it via a long USB-C cable if you want to like have it charged up and talk at the same time. So another lap after this one, but at least I'm a fair bit ahead now, so that should be quite straightforward. So coming up to the straight, this will be an easy bit. Catching up with me quite quickly, that looking. Right, nearly won this race. Looks like I'm putting a bit more distance between me and the car behind as well, which is good. Yeah, so I'm just coming around that corner now. Right, flat out it for the end. There we go. £25 for doing that, not bad. Oh cool, so that BMW I was thinking of buying I got for free anyway for doing this race, that's good. How does this BMW compare with my current one in terms of like points before any upgrades are done? Just because if it's close enough, I'll start upgrading this BMW because it's like a car I actually quite like, the old BMWs. Tuning shop. I don't want this one, do I? I want the other one. No, where is it? So the stock M303 is 523 performance points. Where's the other one? I can't actually see it. Let's do it by date acquired. Oh, there it is. So 462 compared to 523. So it's probably not going to be as good, is it? Although, do I want to risk spending money upgrading this one, or should I just carry on with my other one for now? Probably carry on with this one for now. Just because I was going to say the problem is that I want to buy like a Jag or something when I've got 200 grand in the game, so I might as well stay with this M3. Right, after I do the next race, I'm going to have to run to the toilet again, but I'll still be on a little bit longer, because I've been drinking quite a lot of water, and like Lucas said today, to not get too hot in the heat, you know, and get dehydrated like yesterday. Keep needing to run to the toilet. So Mike can shout at me, wash your hands. Yep, it's the right car. So Nürburgring, whatever it's called. Deutschtrack. Only 2 laps, so I suppose it's a fairly long track, isn't it? Another game I got recently, because the funny thing at the moment is video games don't seem to have gone up as much with the cost of living as everyday shit. So, you know, it's easier to buy a game than it is to actually buy petrol or whatever, is this Starship Troopers RTS that came out recently. And that's quite fun, so I might stream that at some point for people interested. So it's, the art style and the music and everything is totally based on the Van der Hoeven Starship Troopers movie, not the Heinlein book. So, you know, the guy who did RoboCop, that one's version of Starship Troopers. Would you like to know more? That one. I'm saying that seems quite fun because it's all about killing bugs. Oh, and some videos I will do because more and more people have asked for them again. I'll wait for it to come out first, Shark, and then if it gets good user reviews, not critic reviews, then probably. But, you know, I don't like pre-purchasing games just because often they can be shit. But yeah, what I do plan on getting, doing videos, I've already got them, is various reviews of MREs, because a lot of people asking me, could I do reviews of long life foods? You know, because of all the shit going on at the moment, people are interested, you know, if they can get a good bulk price on some sort of MRE or canned food, could I do a review on them? I thought, why not? Because I've got MREs I like anyway, and sometimes I've just got for cheap. So I'll probably do the full English breakfast, sort of full day breakfast MRE review first. So that's quite nice. And then the others I've got, I'll make sure when I next do a packet of them just to eat, I'll do a video on it at the same time. There's a really good one, but I've not seen it in stock anywhere again. And what that one is like some sort of Malaysian curry thing that was a bit like Thai red curry. But you got so much chicken in that compared to anything else, it was much better value than a normal ready meal would be. You know, I'd say it was like 80% chicken, 20% sauce, rather than it being, you know, like 60% sauce, some veg, and then 20% chicken like a regular ready meal would be in terms of like value. I know obviously MREs can be more expensive than ready meals, but at the moment there's not that much in it if you look at stuff, and obviously they last years and years when sealed in their packets. And these things I think generally taste better anyway. But yeah, if the new Saints Row turns out to be good based on user reviews, I might pick it up. Assuming I've not had to sell my kidneys at that point to keep a roof over my head. Actually saying that, I drink alcohol, so my kidneys are probably fucking worthless. Don't know anything about Modern Warfare 2. I've played the old Modern Warfare 2, but is this like how they did a Modern Warfare that isn't the original Modern Warfare recently? Is it like the sequel to that? Because I have actually got the Modern Warfare that came out a couple of years ago, but I've not played it yet. Hang on. I'll reply to your comment in a minute when I get back on track. And then Personal Training says, hey man, hello, are you alright? But yeah, with quite a few of these games, there's a lot of games I've bought when they've been on sale really cheap and just not really played properly. If that makes sense. Yeah, 2019 one, so that's the one I'm thinking of. But I've not actually played the 2019 one, so I need, yeah, Runt Gun is in Radiation. I've just got that, that's my Steam name as well at the moment, but... Also, I've got another M3. Well, if that's an M307, it should stock be better than the M303, I'd assume. Oh, we've got a new collector's level. I don't know if that does anything. I've got a new helmet that I don't give a shit about. Okay. I don't want to replay. Right. Let's go back to the cafe. Oh no, I'm going to meet the weird man in the cafe again, who ogles my cars or wants me to sort out menus for him. Congratulations, you got all three cars. It's completed your BMW M3 collection. Sounds almost Swedish rather than Italian. Once you've collected your rewards, I got some stories to tell you about these cars. I don't give a shit about your fucking... Oh no, the nonce Chris is here, look. Right, shall we say what this bloke says about filling my tank up? If you're seeking a thrill that only a sports car engine can offer, then the BMW M3 series is for you. The E46 M3 is mounted with an S54B straight 6 and delivers high revs and a power output that feels simply out this world. It is without a doubt an icon amongst icons. I'm not going to listen to him anymore, but yeah. This bloke definitely fucks cars. Yeah, I don't give a shit what you want to tell me about these cars, mate. I don't care how many of these cars you've fucked, I'm not interested. Right. Menu book. What's our next menu? What's he want to wank over next? See, what I reckon this cafe is, actually looking at it, I reckon this cafe is a brothel, where he gets all the cars there, so dirty cunts can fuck the cars. I think this is what his actual plan is. It's not a cafe, but a brothel for cars. Oh, you want the high-performance Alfa Romeos, do you? So you want some Italian models here now, do you, Luca? Dirty cunt. Right, let's have a look. I will need to go for a piss in a minute. Gifts, what have I got as a gift? Oh, a 3-star one. Look, I'll get the worst reward possible. Let's see what my worst reward is. Is that the engine part or the low amount of money? Oh, the low amount of money. What a surprise. 5 grand, yay. That was worth that fucking ticket, wasn't it? Any of these interesting things to do? Oh, I've unlocked the next lot of these. These are the weird, like, challenge things, you know, where you just have to do dumb things to get a trophy and a little bit of money, so I can't be asked to do them. Right, I'm going to pop to the toilet again, then I'll be back. See you in a second. Alright, litter picker. Alright, I'm back now if my mic's turned back on. Is my mic turned back on? It didn't do the noise. Let me try it. I think it did the noise. Anyway, I'm back. Hopefully my mic's working. Yeah, I mean, it depends where you put your dick in the car, doesn't it? Because obviously, if you put your dick into the crankshaft in the engine, that might be a bit messy. If you're just filling up the fuel tank with something that's not petrol, you know. I think we had this discussion before. The way petrol prices are going, maybe if Chris gave me some money to fill up my car with his special sauce, maybe that'd be the way I have to do things. Pimp my Dacia out to him. Oh, Sandero. Now that's a working class car if I ever saw one. Probably be worse than E10 though is come. Maybe it can't be that bad. Right, what do I get to use for this? Any of my cars. Okay, cool. So, performance points. Let's use the Sirocco then, because it's my best car. Recommended 600 pp. Right, let go. Oh yeah, we're collecting Alfa Romeos. Mamma mia. Brum brum out my way. I like to sneak up on you from behind. Never mind. Well, this game isn't about trucking, it's about cars, but still. I like trucking, I like trucking, I like trucking, and I like to truck. That's a nice looking car. Shame it isn't as good as my car, apparently, in terms of performance. Lamborghini, you suck on my dick. Master Rocco, it's faster than you. Alright, let me just pause the game a minute so I can allow you a comment there, Picker. I haven't heard that one before, Litter Picker, so unfortunately it doesn't make sense to me, but... Is there a car called a princess? I'm too naive, I'm too innocent. Not really, but you know. Do the racing fins actually do anything in this game, or are they just a cosmetic item? Because I don't actually know that if they make your car go faster or not. Like reduce drag or whatever they're meant to do. So I could technically put racing fins on any of my cars if I wanted to in this game. I've never bothered doing it with any of them. Diesel is more expensive per litre, Aleco, but diesel is more economical. So petrol is probably actually worse. I don't know, really. But with my car, for example, you can put E5 petrol in, which is a good one, or E10, which is a shit one. And my car really doesn't like E10 petrol. I can drive it on E10, but, you know, I get a lot of engine knocking. I get really bad miles per gallon. So I always use E5. But an E5 is 15 pence more per litre, roughly, than the E10 is. So then it's £2.20 a litre. I've seen some countries where diesel is cheaper than petrol. They must be fucking lovely places to live. If you could buy a diesel, you know, get a better MPG engine and then run it for a cheaper cost than petrol. But over here, that's not the case. Because the government probably went, diesel's more efficient, so tax it more. Oh, I went off the track because I was looking at the comments. Whoops. What does B. Beauvoir have then? Because he's got a fast car. quite a nice looking thing, I suppose. Yeah, just don't get caught using it, Echo. The engines I really like are multi-fuel engines, but I know they're not very reliable because the British Chieftain tank had a multi-fuel engine, and every variant of that was prone to the engine breaking down. Had good armour and a good gun, but the engine broke down a lot. But I was sad to see we can't even give any of them to Ukraine, because apparently we've got rid of all our Challenger tanks by this point. I do like the idea that you could just pour cooking oil into its engine and it would run off of it. You know, or vodka. I think that's the idea if you're invading Eastern Europe. You basically just get all the vodka and put it in your tank engine. I suppose if I at least get an electric car at some point, I can just hand crank enough energy into it to actually make it work. Yeah, I guess we're going to be in the Mad Max scenario not too long from now. Fuel Wars. Oh, so you can't get E5, that's really sad. Yeah, because the problem with the E10 is because it's so watered down shit. Like, I didn't mind old 95 octane actual petrol, but now it's the 95 octane is actually made from, like, loads of fuel, not fuel shit, what was I say, like, it's like, corn oil type shit, isn't it? Like rapeseed oil or something they put in it. My engine just hates it, and my engine is a 2018 engine, so it should like it, it just doesn't. How do they actually test to see if you've got red diesel? Do they put like a dipstick in your car and see what colour it comes out? E15, oh god, that sounds like a fucking nightmare. Yeah, get an electric car, that sounds like the only way to go. Or a Chieftain tank, as unreliable it is of a multi-fuel engine. So at least then you can put whatever fucking thing in your engine, it will still run. So what happens if you put black dye in your red diesel? I'm not encouraging criminality, I'm just interested. I don't have a diesel, I only have a petrol, so I can't try it. So it's like a thing where once it's added, it's really difficult to get it away. So if they take a bit of your fuel out, they can look at it, and it's really easy to see if you've got red diesel in your tank or not. Sounds about right. Taxation's theft, after all, so of course they need a way of doing it. Like I said, that's why multi-fuel engines are cool, like the Chieftain has, as bad as that engine was, just because of the fact that, you know, pour chip fat oil in it, pour vodka in it, it'll run until the engine breaks down because it's crap, but still, the engine could take all the multi-fuels. So, that fucking game, what's it called? Not My Summer Car, what's the one called where you're in the desert and there's monsters? Long Drive, where you can put fucking, like, cooking oil in your car and run it. I think it's wholesaler's shark, it's what farmers use for tractors. And, like, I think boats can use red diesel, can't they? So if you wanted to buy red diesel, not that I'm saying you should put it in a diesel car, I think you just buy it online like massive jerry cans. Yeah, I've never had somebody pull my car over asking to test my fuel. But then again, I do have a petrol car, so they can probably tell that from your reg, I imagine. Oh, this is a new race, I haven't done this one. So, suggested PP 400, my car's 642, this will be fucking easy then, won't it? So can you use the excuse that, like, oh, I put the wrong nozzle in my car and filled up? I've never been breathalyzed. I actually have my own breathalyzer which I can use. So, like, I've never been breathalyzed by the police. I've got my own breathalyzer, which I have at home. So that way, if I have, like, a heavy night drinking the night before, I know if it's safe for me to drive or not. Because I'm never going to fucking drink drive, you know, because it's a fucking irresponsible thing to do. But, I have literally never been pulled over by cops. The 2 times I've had interactions with police is when I had the police sent here when I got doxxed, and when I went to Sellafield to take pictures of the old wind scale reactor, and the police thought I might have been a terrorist, so they had to interview me then. That's literally it. When I see cops, they're always checking the speed of cars, not doing anything else. Who checks the fuel then, if it's not the police that do it? Who has the authority to do it? Oh, border guard. So, unless you go to Russia or Sweden, are you alright? I suppose Norway. Mate, does Finland actually border Sweden? Does it only border Norway and then Norway borders Sweden? I can't remember. I'll read the comments about red diesel in a minute when I've not crashed my car. Right, let me read the comment. So, Bitpicker was saying it's a specialist supplier to get red diesel, so you don't sell it in fuel stations. Oh no, not the evil fascist. Did they put fucking Zeds on their trucks as well? I did see that their trucks got vandalised in Poland because, you know, shits and giggles. Not that I have anything against regular Russians. I think Putin is a complete massive fucking cunt and I'd like to kick his head in. But, you know, regular Russians I don't mind, so you get quite a few of them in the comments. And most of them think Putin's a cunt as well. They just won't put it in quite as obvious terms, but, you know. There's not a part 2 to the bunker. There's loads of Stanley Parable videos I've done, but the bunker I did in 2 streams. So when you say part 2, I've done 2 bits of it, as in 2 streams, but there's not a sequel to the bunker. The Stanley Parable one I played on stream was the sequel, as in, like, the version that just has more content. Oh, there's another Brands Hatch race. Oh, there's a couple more Brands Hatch races. Okay. So this one for the gift car. And there's 2 more. Right, cool. Let's do these then. Ooh, my car's... Oh, suggested 600, 642. Yeah, it's alright. Now, let me just pause the thing, we'll have a look at the chat. But yeah, most of the things going on here is just us sending weapons to Ukraine, in terms of the UK, because turns out we've got a lot of stuff that, you know, we can apparently get rid of. Oh, that sounds good, Leco. Yeah, sadly, I don't think there's anything you can get over here that's that cheap. Out my way, McGann. Where Eagles Dare, probably, Shark. That's also my granddad's favourite. And the reason it's my granddad's favourite, because he served in World War II. Something like Saving Private Ryan at the beginning is the most realistic one to him, but obviously that also brings back the most bad memories. So something like Where Eagles Dare, where it's a power fantasy of just, you know, hundreds of Krauts being gunned down by Clint Eastwood dual-wielding MP40s, that's a lot more fun than, you know, the actual horrible shit that really happened in World War II. So it's probably my favourite. I love the theme. Battle of Britain's really good as well, and Tora Tora Tora. Ron Goodwin did the soundtracks to both Where Eagles Dare and the Battle of Britain. But yeah, with World War II movies, as much as I do like realistic movies, I'm kind of at that sort of thing as well, where, because World War II is such a fucking horrible thing that actually happened, more fantasy-based movies are probably more enjoyable to actually watch the movies. Yeah, I like Platoon and Full Metal Jacket. I'd say the first half of Saving Private Ryan is much better than the second half with the beach landing. The beach landing bit's really good, but some of the later stuff's a bit shit. Now, let me read your comment. Savig 1905, don't know that one, but that's cool. I've got some pre-World War I rifles, because I can legally own them in Britain without a gun licence, but I don't have any World War I stuff. Although the Lee Enfield I have is technically one that would have been used in World War I, but my one's from 1939, but as in, like, the actual model was like a World War I model that they kept into World War II. SMLE No. 1 Mark III. I haven't seen 1944, what's that about? I know it's obviously going to be World War II. But what my granddad said to me is, like, obviously Hitler Youth and, like, the really old people that were conscripted near the end, they had total sympathy for. You know, they'd let them all, away a lot of the time without questioning them. Or, like, you know, sending them up the sort of prisoner chain, just because they were people that had been removed from their homes and whatever. Then you have the Wehrmacht, and the Wehrmacht, you know, that could be all over the place, over here and whatever. Some of them were, like, completely decent people, some of them were cunts. And then you had the SS, which were the total fucking cunts that, you know, if they didn't make it to trial and somebody shot them, what a shame. But yeah, the Hitler Jungens and the, what were they called, the Volkssturm, like, he had total sympathy for them, because they were just you know, the worst possible people to conscript. Not worst as in most evil, but, you know, worst as in they had no place on the battlefield. I do want to rewatch Downfall actually again at some point soon, because Downfall is a great film.
Bring and see the Fegelein.
You know, like not in a funny sense, but just yeah, Downfall is a very good film. Coming up to the finish line soon? Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, I've not actually seen 1944 though. No, I've got no interest in the SCP games, I'm afraid. But yeah, what was I going to say about World War II? There was something I was thinking of then, and my mind's gone blank now I've passed the finish line. Yeah, what I was going to say is, my dad's uncle was one of the people that liberated Balsan and Ox Bucks, and that was apparently fucking horrific. Because if you don't know, Balsan was one of the, like, it wasn't technically a death camp, but it was, you know, a concentration camp, you know, where they just sent people to die, basically. And Balsan had a lot of the people sent there from Auschwitz when they were trying to hide what they were doing. And yeah, one of my dad's uncles went into there with Ox Bucks in, like, 44 or 45, whenever it was. And most of them were emotionally scarred for life, you know, for what they saw, and, you know, and even turned into alcoholics afterwards and everything. It was pretty fucked up. Was that during Vietnam, Arnold? Right, I'm going to still use this car, even though it's really overpowered, apparently, for this one. 350 versus 650. The bit litter picker my granddad said about Fury when he watched it. Yeah, exactly, but yeah. When my granddad watched Fury, the thing he commented on was that the 88s never missed. You know, the German 88 guns, because obviously he was Royal Artillery. A lot of the time they were fighting German artillery, and, you know, it's a 1,000-yard stare with, you know, 88s didn't miss. I totally believe him there. You know, you wouldn't have plot armour like in that film, in that tank, you know. If an 88 gunner got you in your sights, you were fucked. But again, I have massive amounts of respect for the people that, you know, fought and suffered during World War II, because it was such a fucking horrible thing. Only 2 laps on this track, that should be fairly easy. Off the track again now. That sounds a very good deal, Arnold. Yeah, I can't really you know, can't really afford to spend money like that anymore on stuff like that, but, you know, at the moment, at least, for the prices over here, but it sounds like a very good deal. Again, there's the stuff like, I can afford to spend money if it's a really good deal for what it is, but, you know, if I'm paying RRP at the moment for the surplus, I can't afford it. Have I not done this one? Oh yeah, I have pass result first, right. Right, third place or higher, we can use the same car in it again, let's do that. I'll be off fairly soon though anyway. Because I've probably been on like 2 hours, have I? Something close to that, an hour and a half. So on lap 103 and we're already at third, so fourth, so should be able to get first quite easily on this one, I imagine. They're all pretty close to each other, the rest of the cars. Oh yeah, so what, just under 2 hours, yeah. So 12 minutes time it'll be 2 hours. I can't actually see that from my current screen. So a Sirocco R like the one I've got, except it's green, not blue. In the game, I mean, I don't have a Sirocco in real life. Is the one car in first, but I'm going to be overtaking him any minute now. It's about a 2 minute per lap, so it'll be another 4 minutes I'm on stream then, assuming it takes me a similar amount of time per lap. Oh, it's the Sirocco I'm in at the moment, so yeah, my Sirocco's overtaking their Sirocco. Alright, let's see if I can beat 2 minutes my previous lap. Yep, just about by 3 seconds. Right. See you, Arnold, if you're off. I'll be off, like I said, in a minute or so when I finish this track. Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow, Imagine Shark. Unless I feel ill or something, I'll be on tomorrow. I don't know when I do the dog walk and the dog sitting exactly what time I'll be away, but I'll probably do an afternoon stream rather than the evening one. And then Wednesday I'll probably do a members stream as usual in the evening. So yeah, I'd say the Shark, if you're on at this time of day, this is probably the most likely time I'll be on. This is all the Alfa Romeos. Right, before I go off, let's go back to the cafe with the weird bloke who probably fucks cars. Definitely fucks cars. Mamma mia, pizzeria. I don't want to know your fucking dirty stories about these cars. I have to listen in anyway. One of the oldest out of the numerous car brands in Italy is Alfa Romeo Milan, established in 1910. They've been around for well over a century. These cars, they make my penis very hard, is probably what he says. I don't give a shit what you're on about, mate. I just want to play the game. That's my new menu. Now that you got your hands on some powerful European cars from BMW and Alfa Romeo, I'd like you to enter the European Championship. It features some tracks you're probably not all that familiar with, so you'll need to do your homework, or you'll disappoint my erection. Head over to the World Circuits and select Dragon Tail Guardians in Europe. They call me the Dragon Tail because I like to put it in the fuel tank, if you know what I mean. Yeah, fuck off now. Right. Garage, let's have a look at my new car before I go off. Brum brum brum. Yeah, that looks nice. That looks nice. They all look nice, don't they? They're Italian, but still. Oh, my gift. Look, I'm going to get the lowest reward possible. I bet you, I bet you, I bet you. Right, let's see what the rewards are. So, the smallest pile of cash is the one I'll get. That one. Yep. What a surprise. 10,000 credits. What a surprise. If the other rewards are 20, 30, 40 and 50,000, of course I get the 10,000 one. It's fucking rigged, this game. Anyway, see you everybody. Have a good evening. Afternoon, evening, whatever. I'll be off now. I'll probably stream this tomorrow again at a similar sort of time of day. Because like I said, once I'm back from the dog walking, I've not got that much on, so you know. Right. It's better than I think you stop the stream. Yep, broadcast. Stop.